Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Manrique, and I'm one of the Habit Guys. We teach realtors prospecting habits so they finally become top producing agents. And welcome to the Realtor Habits Podcast, where agents don't need more stuff. They need better habits. Before we get into today's episode, I got a question for you. Are you ready to stop wishing and start doing? If you're serious about building habits that can transform your career, we've got just the thing. Join us for the Habit Guys Masterclass, How to Create Top Producer Habits Now. In this Power Pack session, we'll uncover the exact routines and mindset shifts that top producers swear by and show you how to integrate them in your daily life. This isn't just about good ideas. It's about actionable, life-changing habits that lead to consistent prospecting, more listings, and the confidence to tackle every challenge in real estate. So, if you're ready to elevate your game and establish habits that last, don't miss out. Register today and take the first step toward becoming the top producer you've always wanted to be. To register, go to www.habitguys.com/signup. Again, that's habitguys.com/signup. Pause this podcast and sign up now. If you know anyone that can gain value from this podcast, please do us a huge favor and share it with them. We're here to help as many realtors as possible, and we appreciate your help to do so. All right, let's get into today's episode. Today's episode's called Education Junkie and Not Prospecting. This episode is for all you agents who find yourself buried in courses, books, trainings, but aren't taking the actions, prospecting, needed to see real results. We're going to explore why this happens, what research says about it, and how to break free from this learning mode to move into action mode. All right. So why do we get stuck in this learning mode anyways? Well, studies reveal that some individuals get stuck in what's called education mode due to a physiological phenomenon known as action bias, or rather the lack of it. Action bias is the drive to take action to feel productive. However, according to Dr. Catherine Milkman from the Wharton School, a key factor that stops people from transitioning from learning to doing is the illusion of productivity. We feel busy reading and studying, so we perceive we're making progress. On top of that, psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck's research on mindset shows that people with a fixed mindset are more likely to stay in education mode because they fear real-world results might prove a lack of capability. In other words, learning feels safe, but doing feels risky. Let's think about that for a second. Are you staying in learning mode because you're afraid of making mistakes or failing? If that's the case, here's a practice to implement. Take a quick moment to reflect if you do. Are you investing more time in learning than in actual prospecting? And then focus on just prospecting. Now, if you need a prospecting script that is tied to making you feel a sense of progress, which is critical for building the habit of prospecting, go to habitguys.com/free. Again, that's habitguys.com/free. Okay, so why is this education mode so common? Well, let's dig into the research on why we might feel compelled to keep learning, and sometimes endlessly. According to a study by the Journal of Behavioral Decision Making, learning provides an immediate sense of satisfaction and can even release dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, with feeling good. This dopamine hit is similar to what we get from scrolling through social media, and it can become an addictive behavior, making education a crutch. Research by psychologist Dr. Susan Weinschnick also suggests that people procrastinate by engaging in low-stakes tasks, like education, because they provide the brain with a way to avoid difficult emotions like fear and uncertainty. So, if you're constantly learning but not acting, again, prospecting, it's likely because your brain is tricking you into thinking you're making progress without having to face real-world challenges. So what do you do about it? How could you put this into practice and overcome this? Well, think about one piece of knowledge you've recently learned, whether it's from a book, a course, a mentor, or even this podcast. Now, ask yourself, how can I put this into action today? And then do it. Let's get into what really moves the needle in real estate. Actionable knowledge. According to Professor Eric Dane from Rice University, mastery doesn't come from knowing. It comes from applying. Dane's studies reveal that people who quickly implement what they learn achieve mastery faster than those who simply amass information. This concept aligns with Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000-hour rule, which has been shown to work best when practice is applied in real-world situations rather than just theory. If we want to become skilled real estate agents, we need to bridge the gap between knowledge and execution. It's the practice of prospecting, dealing with objections, and navigating rejections that truly build our expertise. So what you want to do to help you overcome this is write down one specific action you can take today based on something you've recently learned, whether it's reaching out to a lead or making a follow-up call. Commit to taking one step today. Now that we know why we get stuck in learning mode, let's look at strategies to overcome it. So number one, you could set boundaries on learning time. Studies show that setting specific time limits on education helps us focus on action. For example, allocate 30 minutes in the morning for learning and then immediately transition into prospecting. Number two, implement immediately. According to a study published in the Journal of Applied Psychology, people who implement what they learn within 24 hours retain the information better and are more likely to apply it in the future. So if you intend a training or read a book, take one action within a day to reinforce it. Number three, accountability partners. A study by the American Society of Training and Development found that having an accountability partner increases the likelihood of achieving goals by 65%. Find a fellow agent who can help you stay accountable to both your learning and your prospecting. Choose one of these strategies and commit to applying it today. The goal is to break free from the cycle of learning without action. Remember, being an education junkie can be a great trait when balanced with action. Education is powerful, but it's only through action that we see results. Knowledge won't turn into listings unless you make the calls, knock on the doors, and build the relationships. Hey everyone, before we wrap up today's episode, we're excited to offer just our loyal listeners now. If you've been enjoying the content and finding value in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Here's the deal. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, not only will it help us reach more real estate professionals like yourself, but we'll also send you a special thank you. Simply screenshot your 5-star review and email it to us at info@habitguys.com. As a token of our appreciation, we'll send you a signed copy of our book, The Habit House, absolutely free. This book is packed with all the strategies and insights you need to build powerful habits and take your real estate career to the next level. So head over to Apple Podcasts, leave that review, and claim your free signed copy today. Thanks for your support and for being a part of the Habit Guys community. In closing, here is the missing piece to your business. It's accepting that when you know better, you do not necessarily do better. You do better when you change your habits. Let us help.